and I was there for a bit, and I was having a bath, and it was like 12 o'clock at night, and I had like a late night of working, and I was having a bath, and the curtain was shut, and my grandfather, he comes in, I call him my dealer, he comes in, and there was magazines he liked reading there, so he decided to sit, he didn't use the washroom, he just decided to sit in the toilet and like start reading some magazines, his favorite magazine. And I'm in there, I'm like, should I tell him I'm here? And I was like, I don't want to scare him. And so I'm like, okay, he'll leave soon. There's no way he's going to read these magazines for like half an hour. Half an hour later, I'm in the washroom, I'm freezing. I'm like, okay, I do want to, if I tell him that I'm in here now, so I'm in there like trying to be so quiet, right? And the water's cold now. And finally he decides to get up and leave, right? But that's ditto. He do the most random thing. And so I wait like 5 minutes later because he took the towels out. So there's no towels in there. And he likes to take the towels, so he likes to have it like rolled up in his pillows and stuff like that and stay warm. So I'm like, okay, now I got those towels, I'm in the bathroom, like, okay, I heard the door close, I was like, okay, so he's probably in his bed now. So I sneak out of the room, the house is totally black, right? And I sneak out of the house, and, you know, I'm obviously just had a bath, so I wasn't fully dressed. And so I walk out, and it was totally quiet. I was like, okay, good. He's got a bed, and there was a towel on the other side of the hall. So I slowly walk over there, and all the lights flick on. and Dill said, Peter, I'm like, Dill, what are you doing? He's like, Peter, don't worry about it. I do it all the time. Enjoy life. And then I ran away. But that was my deal. He taught me how to enjoy life. He thought I was streaking in the house, but that was he was known as the nude gardener. You go to his house, and he bought like a nice house in the country in Stroud, close to Barrie, and he liked hanging out. He was hanging out, and that was just it. He was masturbating, and that's how he did it back then. He was a very cute, fun guy, and everyone loved my ditto. He would do anything for anybody. Now, if you can see, I'm wearing the 1 in 3 thing here, and 1 in 3, and we've all seen those creepy commercials where, you know, 1 in 3. But the truth is, 1 in 3 people will die before their time due to heart disease and stroke. And my grandfather was one of those people. Yeah, a lot of people may not even have your parents, right? But you know what? He did die before his time. He had a stroke, and since he had that, he had a heart attack. And then when he went to go in the hospital, you know, you get all those medications, and a lot of people die from all that medication. And my ditto, all he wanted to do was go back home. I saw him last weekend. He said, Peter, I just want to go home. And I was like, no, you gotta stay here. You gotta stay here. And he said, Peter, I know what's best for me. And he did. He had his garden. He would eat fresh vegetables. He'd soak in the sun to get his vitamin D. And he knew what was best for him. But when you get in the hospital, you know, they're there to keep you alive as long as possible. But while I was in the hospital, you would see what they were eating. And if you've ever seen hospital food, we all joke about it. Well, hospital food, you know, like, it's like, and he had like cream corn, and like, was having milk and toast, and that was like his meal, that was his dinner. And I thought to myself, you know, I was just thinking, I wonder if the hospitals decided to take all the food and just replace it all with organic, fresh fruits and vegetables and force their clients to eat that. And you think, because you know, a lot of us think, oh, what we eat doesn't really impact what we are, but this is ancient medical history that we call it, let thy food be thy medicine, medicine be thy food. And this is why I'm really passionate about this, is that food is our medicine. And I want to just show you some statistics here, because does anyone who here has had a close family member die from heart and stroke? And statistically, 1 in 3 people in this room will die before their time. 1 in 3 people. So there's about 20 of us here. So that's a lot of people will die before their time. But it's preventable. And a lot of people, a lot of dietitians, a lot of naturopath doctors are saying that it's about 95% preventable. Can you imagine 95% preventable? So I'm going to read you some statistics here. I used to work for the Heart and Stroke Foundation as well, and we did the cardiac rehab at the YMCA. And the people who were in that program, they had a heart attack or they had a stroke, and they were working on a program to rebuild their hearts and everything. And I remember of all the people, I probably trained hundreds of people in that program. There was only one I saw and I was like, this guy shouldn't be here. He was fit, he was trim, and he was as strong as you could, like he looked perfectly healthy. And I said, why are you here? He said, I had a heart attack. I said, how's that possible? He's like, well, it's genetic. My grandfather had it, my father had it. It was bound to happen. And he said, I tried everything I could to not get the heart attack. And sure enough, he did get it. And I tell you that story because, like, even though he genetically had it, he was going to have it, he decided to train as hard as he can, and he bounced back really quick. So there's a rare occasion that it's genetic, but from statistics, it's preventable. And I'm going to read you some statistics here. And this is a study in the group, and this is all from the Heart Stroke website. In 1999, the direct health care costs in Canada of physical inactivity, so this from being physical inactive, totaled $2.1 billion, representing approximately 21% of the healthcare costs of artery disease, stroke, high blood pressure, colon cancer, breast cancer, diabetes. So 21%. And when you think about 21% of that was preventable, right? The cost of cardiovascular disease, heart disease, and stroke cost the Canadian economy, so your tax dollars, more than $20.9 billion every year. 20.9 billion every single year, and that's just Canada. And remember, let's say it's 95% preventable, so it would bring it down like dramatically that amount. $20.9 billion every year in physician services, hospital costs, lost wages, and decreased productivity. That's what costs Canada alone. The cost of being overweight in 2005, obesity-related chronic conditions accounted for $4.3 billion just from being inactive and a little overweight. I figure that may be underestimated of the cost of and this is all from the Cardiac Rehab, the Heart and Stroke Foundation website. And so what I want to tell you guys today is the reason why I'm in my business. It's more than just, I like to be fit and have fun. My whole family has heart condition. My father has it, my grandfather had it, my whole grandfathers had it, they had it. I decided to change my family tree. And today, when I go home, I'll email you a little video I made about why I do what I do and why I choose to stay healthy. And it's kind of fun, people ask me what I'm eating today, or why do I have that crazy amount of salt. It's because I don't want to be normal. And it's interesting, 120/80 is considered like a healthy blood pressure, and that's actually inaccurate. That's the normal blood pressure. That's not healthy. You want it down to about 90/6. That's a healthy blood pressure. People think there's something wrong with them if they have low blood pressure. So some things I want to bring up just to help us all to stay healthy and because it's really close to my heart. I know my grandfather died before his time, and it was funny. One of the last things he said to my wife, he said, "Julie, I got some news for you." And my wife was like, "Okay, what is it, Diddle?" He's like, "You're pregnant." And she's like, "I'm on my period, I can't be pregnant." He says, "You're pregnant." I know, you're pregnant. And you know what? And let's say I do have another child, right? Or my son was only 4 and he didn't get to see my grandfather last week because he was in sedation, and he got to see him through the window. And my wife brought my son out to the window at the hospital because he wasn't allowed in. And to see the joy in his face, and he stood up. He wasn't able to walk, but he had the strength to stand up, and he started clapping. He was able to see his great-grandchild. And so I want to encourage everyone here, you don't have to be the 1 in 3, okay? Don't let the statistics tell you what to do. There's lots of things you can do. We eat too much meat. We overconsume meat. In Japan, for example, they use meat as a flavoring, not as a source. But our average meals these days are like hamburger and fries. When I have meals, people often ask to say, "Peter, where's the protein? Where's the meat?" But you don't need it. You don't need it. There's lots of people that live a vegetarian diet, a vegan diet. I'm not a vegan. I'm not a vegetarian. But we eat too much, and it's a lot of cholesterol. Our bodies aren't able to handle all that meat. So I want to encourage everyone to eat more fresh fruits and vegetables. A lot of these diseases are preventable by eating more fruits and more vegetables. And it's just funny. I talk about all the things that Grandma taught us to do. Sit up straight, eat your fruits and vegetables. And it's really that simple. So I'm not here to make anyone feel bad. I do care about each and every one of you here. If I heard that any one of you here was sick, I'd be more than happy to help any one of you here. And if you have any family members that are suffering from any cardiac, any heart and stroke diseases, let me know, and I'd be willing to help them out. So, because they wouldn't have any questions.
Yeah, is the organic food versus normal plastic or something like that? Is there really something?
Yeah, you know, organic food, for example, it is better, but my rule is this, and I posted this on a blog last year, and they said, top one choice is local and organic. My second choice would be local. Even before I go organic, go local. Because when you go buy local, at least you can influence the farmers to go organic. And plus, when it's something organic from California, is it really organic? Like by the time it gets here, of all the pollution, all the shipping. So go organic when you can, and wash your fruits and vegetables too. So, and then try to go organic whenever possible. But just do it the best you can. I tell people, I say the thought of something not being organic is more dangerous than just being thankful for what you're